I can get that to you.
Perfect. And then most of the grade twos came in at around 7 pounds, I think.
Yeah, we're not shipping the whole system. It's just a hard
Like
drive, a jump drive.
it shouldn't be more than,
Oh, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 pounds, I'd imagine. How much?
Yeah,
I don't
Neil
know.
was 7 pounds, 3 ounces.
yeah, that was pretty much
That,
average,
that was for the grade twos, right?
right? I'm trying to, I should just have it to be safe and say our maximum weight will be
Well, I
three.
can get you a number. It's just the hard drive is what weighs.
Yes.
Can't imagine this weighing 7 pounds. Doesn't feel like it. So I'll get you a number. I got a scale I have access to. So
Okay. It doesn't need to be particularly precise, but it should be.
yeah, I'm going to guess say 3 pounds for now, and I'll modify as needed.
Okay. I'll go ahead and send that to Zorman. Because that is the last bit of information that we.
Well, let me get that information before you send it to him. I'll get it to you relatively quickly here.
And I also don't want to send it to him too early because I'd like to update an address in there now.
Yeah. So let me get you the address and the
Yeah,
weight.
you're
And
all
write it down so I don't forget it.
okay. So we won't have HAMSI next week. World Amateur Radio Day is in April. Anyone else have any announcements for the group? Okay. I believe daylight savings is coming up. So next we meet, it'll be at a slightly different time. UTC.
Thank you.
Okay. Any updates from you, Dr. Frizzell?
Nope, I think everything is good.
And is Kung on today?
Yes, I am.
Any updates?
I do actually. So item number 5 there on the list, updating code for testing and maintenance. So I did that. I honestly rewrote the code in a way to improve the performance. So the execution time went from a few hours down to about 70 minutes. And after my advisory meeting yesterday with Dr. Frizzell and my software engineering advisor, with some input from Dr. Fenner, the software advisor, I rewrote the code again, and the execution time now goes down to 1 minute and 30 seconds. So
Wow.
it's a massive improvement in performance now. I just gotta run some benchmarking to ensure that it's not using an insane amount of memory.
Was it 1 minute or 4 minutes?
1 minute.
Oh my God.
1 minute. Good
Yes,
grief.
1 minute.
Was it
I want to
was
look
it you
into.
just executing delete asterisk dot asterisk?
Yeah, I was very impressed about like how it did that. So I gotta look more low into like how these libraries are handling all of this. It seems pretty cool to me. Went from more than an hour down to less than 2 minutes is insane. But
That is
yeah,
insane.
that
Wow.
is very good news. So that's the biggest update for this week. Besides that, did we if we haven't made a decision on whether to use the thumb drives or
Yeah,
to
we
upload
have.
data for important data yet?
We have. I bought
Oh,
the
okay.
thumb drives already. They're all formatted as ext4. I'm in the process right now of look down here. Let's see. There's a whole string of drives here. These are all the thumb drives.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Yeah, they're 128 gigs. And the interesting thing is we're copying 10 days worth of data, which is 10.4 gig per day.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 25 minutes per day of copying. So it takes 4 hours and 20 minutes or 4 hours and 10 minutes to make the 10-day copy onto a USB 3 flash drive.
Mm.
So it's not as fast as you'd like it. And I don't think I can knock that one down to a minute.
I see.
Tough act to follow.
Well, let me make sure that I understand what you're saying. Are you talking about the CSV to DRF conversion?
Yes, that program. Yes,
And that's still in Python?
it's still in Python, fully in Python. It's the making use of a library called Polars.
Folders.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's pretty memory hungry, but that's okay. Yeah, I'd love to have a copy of that code when you feel ready to send it to me. I'd like to try that.
Yeah, I would definitely share that with anyone who's involved in this conversion process.
Because I have been a little bit concerned about our ability to deal with that, but if you made that much of an improvement, that is. Now Polars does not, from what I recall, unless something changed, Polars doesn't have an available HDF5 output, or has that changed?
Hi.
Oh, I'm
Hi.
sorry. I don't believe so. But
I'll get by without it for now.
they Polars doesn't have that, but
Thanks.
it's still very useful because
Bye.
the digital RF their built-in writer object text numpy array is input, which is a type of output that Polars can produce.
Well, okay. That's remarkable. I'm anxious to see that, although I don't know if I'm going to have enough memory on the current server to be able to run that, but I can get it upgraded if I need.
Yeah, I'll run some benchmark and then share the update statistic with you.
Is this intended to run on a Pi or is it running on a x86 based machine?
As of now, it's mainly for the server.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But if the benchmark gives me some good looking numbers, it may be able to run on a Pi. But I can't say that for sure yet.
It's going to be a question of RAM.
Yeah.
Because in the past, when I've worked with this, I usually need a server with at least 384 a gig of memory on it in order to
Holy smokes.
run the conversions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never free.
Yeah,
free,
right. Yeah, I mean, you're trading memory but memory has become less expensive now. I mean, so we're going to be one of the first, if not the first project running on the university's new high-performance compute infrastructure. We got a $95 million in grants, part from NIST and part from the state of Alabama, to build this new high-performance compute facility. And they said, well, we're going to give you a small server start you out with 100 terabytes of memory, or rather, I should say disk. So we're going to be okay on getting the data stored, processed and stored.
That sounds wonderful.
You're going to get 32 disks that are 4 terabytes each. That's 128 terabytes there.
Yeah, but remember this data does compress a little bit I mean, about 50% or so
Oh, okay.
when you convert it to DRF. At least that's been what we've seen so far.
But you have to copy it first before you compress it. So that's.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to do it all at once.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You process, you read one in, then But if I need another 100 terabytes, all I have to do is flip a switch. They're
Wow.
monster infrastructure.
That's impressive.
Hang on a second. The puppy wants to go out.
Okay, any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Puppy is out.
That was a non-maskable interrupt.
Right.
Okay, I believe this is completed now. Because there are physical jump drives and drives in your office.
In my hot little hands, yeah. All of the 4 terabyte drives are formatted and have the labels put on them, and the extra label that goes onto the existing drive for when they ship it back, so Bill knows what they are, has been made and is in with the drive. So in the drive bag, you're going to get the new 4 terabyte drive with its new label, the label for the existing drive, and the jump drive. And I just finished the script to make the copy. Like I say, it takes 25 minutes per day, so it's 250 minutes to make the copy to make the backup of the 3 days for the eclipse and then the other 7 days for that 1 week in May. And it puts 102 gigabytes on a 128 gig drive. It's not compressed, so it should be relatively straightforward. Keep it simple. And I still have not heard back from you or FedEx about the shipping containers, and now I'm in crisis mode because that's got to get done like now. So I'll probably be running over there and see if we just can't order the darn things and get them in, because it sounds like it should work, or that it will make them work. But we're
Yeah.
we're out of time. I can't be. This has been going on for 2 weeks, like I kind of thought it would. So now I've really got to start pushing.
Yeah. I will say I've already sent the list over and everything to Dr. Zorman, so I don't think he's done yet, because that process of generating shipping labels seems to take quite a while.
Yeah.
But Bill's name was first on the list, so we might have started there if he started. So just send me the address ASAP.
And Bill is Node 1002, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
What will we be getting? What will be arriving, and what are we going to have to do to replace the
You'll
drive?
be getting a new 4 terabyte drive. And in it, there'll be a little jump drive to make the copy and a list of instructions, because we're remounting the drive now, not as a operating system file mount, but as a logical link. So when the system boots and that drive hasn't come up, it doesn't go into kernel panic mode anymore.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was, in hindsight, we probably should have done that way, but we were just moving too fast at the time to get the darn thing out.
All right.
So
So will you have a download of a new operating system, or
no, it's a simple change. We have to modify the FS tab to get rid of the mount for the operating system, which I believe Bill has in a shell script to do that edit. And then we do a logical link from the media mount and put that where the G2 data was in the home directory as a logical link instead of a hard drive link.
And you've tested all this out pretty well, huh?
Oh yeah. In fact, I'm going through node 1004, which is the node here at case, as the test case to make sure all these scripts work. And I'm playing, just blindly do it and make sure it works, and trying to think of how things could get screwed up, or if you bump the cable on the drive and it dismounts, how you fix that, and all those kinds of things. Because
Are you gonna redo the mount first, and then we'll do the copy? Is that the approach?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and that's
That makes-
what I'm actually in the middle of figuring out right now. Because
Okay.
redoing the mount should be pretty straightforward. We'll have to unplug the drive. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I always seem to have a physical problem that crops up for whatever reason, and I lose
Well, the
stuff.
USB 3 connector has 4 additional connectors in the back in addition to the 4 front ones. So if you tip it, it disconnects the back ones, and that's all of the data paths. And that's the
I
problem.
don't know if gravity, you know, the
Oh, it
cables
doesn't take much of a
dropping.
bump. You can only have to move it like 10 degrees or just touch it. Because I've just actually bounced or bumped the Raspberry Pi, not moved the cable, and it dismounted itself. So you look at it funny and it dismounts itself. But that's
Yeah, my
hardware
my
issue.
grape suite of receivers are 15 miles away, and
Yeah.
when it physically has that problem, you know, it just
Yeah, that's
fails, and it's a while sometimes before I get out there and get it fixed.
great.
So I'm hoping that this new mount, are we going to still have this physical problem with the cable?
If it's bumped, yes, that's something I can't fix. That's just
We don't have a different house. There's not a different housing that's a better housing or something, you know.
not that I know I'm aware of, because it's the USB-C connecting cable, the type A cable that plugs into the Raspberry Pi. That's where the problem is. It's that
At the Raspberry Pi. Okay.
yeah. There's nothing I short of
Duct
hot
tape.
melt gluing it.
Duct tape. I love it.
Yeah,
Zip ties and duct tape will hold the world together. Okay. My question's been answered. Thanks, John.
I'll get you a special roll of purple duct tape. So I'm in the process right now of finishing putting the shell script onto the jump drives for the copy, and then I'm creating the sequence with Bill's help on how to do this whole conversion. Get that debugged and put together. We'll probably push it out onto the G2 user directory so it's there as well. So everybody will have it, and we'll probably take it from there. But like I say, right now my crisis mode is finding the shipping container. But that's where I'm at. The hardware is all pretty much, well, I've got 14 drives done. I've got another 23 to go. So that shouldn't take too terribly long, another hour or two worth of work on the jump drives for getting the script on there. But the shipping containers are going to be the issue.
So this update will be post TAMSI a couple weeks from now.
We actually are going to hopefully start shipping next week. But like I said, it's all based on the shipping containers. If I can't, until I get them in and in hand and we start boxing things up, I don't know when things are going to ship. I'm just hoping we get it out before all these drives start filling up. My drive at home, which I started beginning of March, hit 100% on the 23rd of February. No, March. Well, whenever it was. And when I took it down, it had less than a day's worth of data left space left. It was at 100%. So I filled the sucker up. But everybody else is, whenever they started, got their grade twos and started it, they're going to be their drop dead date. So like I say, I'm pushing as hard as I can, but sometimes pushing on a rope doesn't get you much.
Nope.
I don't think I have anything else, Rachel. I've got enough on my plate right now to
That's fair.
do that in our tower project here at Case and
Yeah, let me know when you
project.
have boxes. Stop by the lab and just put things into boxes.
Yeah. Oh, you'll be the first person I contact. Trust me. I'll come find you.
There, I have to go home over the weekend.
That won't be a problem.
But if we're doing it next week, I should be there Tuesday.
Okay. I kind of doubt it because, like I said, the guy at FedEx is going to have to order the boxes, and he's supposed to be getting samples in, and he keeps promising me, and they're not coming in. So I'm getting a little nervous. I might have to go to a FedEx store and just buy them, but we'll see.
Okay. And I did see a comment in the chat from Bruce KN4GDX about data. Oh, this is from
Hi there.
wait, I'll just use my this is from last
I'm not
week.
sure if you can hear me, Rachel. Are you hearing me?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about the noise in the background. We have a Horus payload on a balloon going up toward New York, and we've been recording it this morning. Still up there. Yeah, so during the eclipse in 2024, I started recording on RX-888 on one of my normal amateur antennas. And I forgot to turn it off and left it running all night. So I ended up with 300 gigs of the AM band, well, 900 kilohertz of the AM band, and starting before the eclipse and then continuing overnight. So that data may be of interest to somebody. So if so, I'm more than happy to copy it off and send it to whoever's interested.
Where are you located?
I'm in Virginia, North Central Virginia.
Uh-huh.
So
How many terabytes?
300 gigs.
300 gig? Yeah, we'd be interested in it at Dartmouth if you hadn't already gotten it to Nick.
So who's talking? Is that David?
David, N1HAC.
Okay, David.
Yeah, we took data during that in the medium wave band, and we'd be certainly interested in comparing it and using it.
Okay, I'll copy it off and I'll get with you via email and figure out how to get it to you. Okay.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Glad you can use it. Thanks, Rachel.
You're all good. It looks from the chat that Gamal might also be interested. But I'll let you guys make arrangements there. Okay. Bill, any updates?
Yeah, a couple things. I have got all the data from the Grape One legacy systems up through about February 26th of this past month, imported into the personal space weather station network. A lot of them didn't come with, some of them came with JPEGs, a lot of them didn't, doesn't matter. I'm generating new plots for them all, but it won't be the same FLDigi plot. It'll be the new plot that Nathaniel developed. It's got what it looks like error bars around the Doppler information. Anyway, so that's proceeding along. Also, I was mentioning earlier that the university is going to give us this new high-powered system, but it's going to come with a different URL. So right now, to get to the system, you go to pswsnetwork.caps.ua.edu. That's going to change to pswsnetwork.eng.ua.edu because this is part of the engineering department, not part of CAPS. What it means is that all the people with Grape One DRF systems that are currently uploading, as well as people who are directly uploading magnetometer data, are going to have to go in and change the URL, which is in uploader.config on their system in order for that to occur. Now, we're going to do a coordinated change on this, so it's not going to just happen without notification. I'm going to go through a procedure at the HamSci workshop and tell people what to do on this. And also I'm working with Bill Blackwell and putting final touches on a procedure to convert a Grape One legacy system so that it will upload to the personal space weather station network rather than to the WWV club server. And I'm sure that's going to make Dave Sports very happy to get out of that terrible hassle. Anyway, so we'll talk about that also at the HamSci workshop. And so let's see. That's about it as far as what I can think of. And as I said, Kong, I'm salivating thinking about this software that you developed that runs so much faster and conversion to DRF. So I'm anxious to see the code on that. I kind of sort of have an idea of how you did it, but it's not a simple thing to implement. So congratulations to Kong on that. I'm anxious to see the code. So anyway, so back to net.
Oh, thank you for that, Bill. I actually have one more thing to mention on that. I just ran a benchmark, and the total memory consumption for 1 day of processing is about 7 gigabytes of memory.
That's not bad.
So probably not bad at all. I was expecting a number in the 20s.
Now Bill's going to have to rub some duct tape around his head so it doesn't explode with excitement.
Yeah.
Well, the proof of the pudding will be what it does once you get it on the server. Because what I'd really like to do is I would like to run several of them at once. And if the memory requirements are really that small, I could run half a dozen of them at once. So.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Is either Michael or Rob available or have any updates?
Hang on, I'm here. I don't know that we have any upgrades or information. I don't know if Michael's here. I've been moving this week, so haven't done much on any of our projects. But I think Michael and Elmer, N3AGE, we've been pursuing. Actually, we've been taking a detour. We're concerned about the sample accuracy of the system. So Scott and Newell and Elmer and I and Glenn have been looking with much detail into the sample accuracy. Phil Erickson kind of stimulated this investigation, and for the recordings that we make, on this need to be scientifically really useful. I think we can't be just dropping samples, and it's proving to be something of a challenge, but to verify the sample accuracy of the whole stream. So that's what we've been doing in parallel. There's some we're doing some antenna comparisons, but it's difficult to do antenna comparisons if you have two systems that aren't making samples exactly when some of them are dropping samples. So that's been our major focus. So you'll all get to meet Elmer, and he's coming to the workshop next week, and we'll be bringing the hardware and software, so you'll learn more from him.
What a name for an amateur radio operator to have.
Yes, and Elmer. He is. I hadn't thought of that.
For Elmer?
He is Elmer. Elmer Musser. That's his given name.
Elmer squared.
I wonder who was Elmer's Elmer?
Probably called Elmer.
Have to talk to Elmer about it. It's our Elmer is largely Glenn in the N6AG. So N6GN. So that's all I have to report. So.
Okay. And I imagine the sampling is actually about the Whisper system?
Yes, well, this is the grape, of course, what's more, Whisper tolerates sample losses pretty well. I mean, it's quite resistant to errors in transmission. But if you're going to make accurate IQ recordings, and if we want to get on to do multiple antennas, phased arrays, and so on, we can't have samples being dropped at random times on random channels. So it's a short-term problem, but even more importantly, a long-term problem for this as a scientifically useful array of instruments. We want to know that they're that they're accurate and reliable.
Just in a great
At
spot.
the very least, identify when there are errors. That's there are inevitably errors in making measurements, but you don't want to have unknown errors appear. So we've seen a very interesting, I don't know if you're going to get to see it, but very interesting propagation reports coming from the DP0 GVN transmitter on 10 meters. Maybe Gwen will be able to present something about that, but there's been exceptional propagation events on 10 meters where the path from Antarctica to Europe and the Canary Islands becomes incredibly strong and stable. There's almost no Doppler shift. I mean, we're talking about 10 millihertz. Our measurement resolution gets really low. This isn't necessarily a subject for this group, but it certainly I think the DP0 GPN installation is already proving that there's things to be learned. I'm not sure anyone as yet has come up with a theory about how you can get 1,000 kilometer transmission with such little Doppler shift. Maybe someone here in this group knows more about propagation than I do, especially trans-equatorial.
Well,
Anyway, I think enough at the time.
Doppler shift comes from change in height, so that means just that the reflection layer is stable in its height. That would give you no Doppler shift.
Yes, well, it just can't. Farlap, there's just no way that Farlap is showing that there's a skip path. So it has to be some kind of a duck path.
It's
weird. Even one skip zone gives typically with the stable. If you have one skip and a stable ionosphere, you will see spreading numbers in the teens, 10 to 20 millihertz.
Wow.
And that's what we're seeing from DP0, but there's no single hop path from Antarctica to Europe. It's impossible just because of the curvature of the Earth. I mean, I guess 0 degrees. I mean, it's I guess there's I forgot the term, but if the skip goes up and then doesn't bounce the second time, you can get multiple refractions through the ionosphere without it skipping off the Earth. So that seems like the explanation, but that seems it seems like every pass reflection through the ionosphere ought to introduce on the order of 10 to 20 millihertz. I'm talking about it, at 20 meters, but actually that's what's exceptional. This is 10 meters. In fact, this is at 30 megahertz, 29 megahertz, 28 megahertz. You're seeing such low dispersion. It seems quite extraordinary. First identified by Lully, ON5KQ, who was one of the Whisper Demon contributors. He was the first one to identify this event. And since then, we've seen it it seems to occur, not regularly, but not infrequently. So
Rob, which direction is the signal going?
deploying more Antarctic stations. Huh?
Rob, is this transmitting from Antarctica?
Yes, there's a transmitter and a receiver down there.
Right, I know, but you're talking about this propagation mode. Is it, are you seeing that from the transmitter in Antarctica?
Yeah, this is a transmitter in Antarctica. It's a Whisper Sonde 8,
Right.
GPS disciplined, and it's received by multiple sites. There are several Whisper Demon sites in Europe that are GPS disciplined. There's
No, this,
BFK in the Canary Islands, and
right.
then Uli and several others in continental Europe.
But this is only being received in Europe?
So far, I mean, I've been a little so busy with my move. I don't, I haven't even participated in the Whisper Demon calls much in the last couple of weeks. So.
I presume a number of these European sites also have transmitters. Can you see it the reverse direction?
Well, yeah, there's a receiver down there. There's we have also a receiver located about 1.5 kilometers from the transmitter, so it shouldn't be interfering. Yeah, deafening.
No, I'm not saying interfering. I'm saying, are you seeing the same effect going
We
the
haven't-
opposite direction?
We haven't. I don't know that anyone has looked.
Yeah, you should look.
Yeah, there's
I'm
lots of.
especially interested because I contend that propagation paths are generally not reciprocal.
Yeah, well, again, I'm not sure.
Fascinating.
Well, I'm sure if talk to Gwen is coming to the conference, and I'm sure that he'd be very interested in discussing this. I think he
Oh,
has
yeah.
he has a page that he prepared describing it, a presentation page. I don't know if he's going to be part of his regular presentation, but he'll be the Elmer and Glenn and I think that Michael Harche, Professor Harche, DK5HH, who installs and maintains that site. I think he's planning to participate remotely via Zoom from Germany. So I think it's it may be worth scheduling something, if only informally, to get everybody together to discuss this. I think it's very interesting results to me.
Yeah, maybe we set up a table at the one of the dinners of those of us interested in this.
Yeah, well, Glenn and Elmer and we'll have a table, so they'll be there. I'll be there by Zoom, I think.
Rob, one question did occur to me. You might have heard I was talking about earlier, for those systems that are uploading to the personal space for the station network, there's going to be a change of URL sometime within the next month or so. Is it going to be difficult to change the that in some of these out of the stations like Antarctica?
No, but yeah, it's good to know about that, because I'm in late stage of the developing we're beta testing Whisper Demon version 3.3.1, and which, when we get through the beta, I'll check it in and it'll become the main code of 3.3.2. And that point, which should happen in the next few weeks, would be a good time for me to introduce a change in the URL. You're going to simplify that URL and make it a little shorter?
No, just change out caps for ENG.
Oh.
Because the server is underneath Center for Advanced Public Safety, and it's going to be part of engineering after this.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, that's it. It's no problem. Just there may be there when it happens, the data will continue to be cached at the Whisper Demon Great sites. So if the URL becomes invalid, then the systems will just fail to upload. And they will wait until they get a valid, that can connect to the server. And if we upgrade the software, then they'll have the right URL, and then they'll flush their caches.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I can't forecast even within weeks on when this is going to happen, because a lot of things have to come together. But they are provisioning this powerful new server for us. And I can't forecast when that's going to be, because, I mean, once they tell us, okay, here's the server, well, it's got the OS on it, but I still have to install like 20 different things and get them all working before we can cut over. So
Okay.
it'll be a coordinated change. So I'll let everybody know what's blow by blow is what's going on.
Just send me an email and include Scott and Michael Howen, so that that it gets we get informed. And I'll let the Whisper Demon users know. I mean, most of as I say, we're close to a transition to this new release, and that would be a good time. I can include the change in URL in that change. So right now there's about 25 sites running the beta code out of I don't know, it's like 130 sites out there. I'm not sure how many of them are active, but at least 100 of them are active. But not all of them are Whisper Demon Grapes. There's about 50 sites that are running Whisper Demon Grape with 888s. So we're doing a lot of work on the 888 is there was yesterday's Whisper Demon Group. There's a lot of, we're uncovering a lot of problems with the 888. And there's some discussions about how we might be able to revise the hardware. It has we've encountered some that have internal oscillations. They're very subject to FM aliasing from the FM band. Those aliases are not suppressed sufficiently by a low pass filter, because there's ingress through the USB cable. There's all kinds of things that we've uncovered in the process of deploying these and testing them. So there's even more reason. Hopefully, we can get the Chameleon or whatever we're talking about, the next generation of this receiver. We need our own receiver. This 888 we're putting more and more band-aids on it all the time.
Just want to make a quick comment. I jumped onto the U of A server and looked up my Legacy One grape, and it is really something to see those plots in there, Bill. This is huge. This has been a long time coming. Congratulations.
You like it? You like it? Excellent.
Yeah, I sure do.
Can you post the URL, Bill? I'd like to take a look myself.
Well, it's the same one it's always been.
Oh, that one. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I got it.
Can I put in one more reminder about, it would be really helpful if the spectrograms amplitudes were in decibels rather than linear. It's especially now that most of the uploads are happening in floats. Fortunately, as you saw, the floats are appropriately rendered, but the dynamic range is very difficult to see when you look at linear, because now that we no longer have to apply AGC, there's useful amplitude levels that are now lost down at the lower part of the line. So,
well, somebody needs to get me like what Bob did, a data set that has a whole bunch of different amplitudes in it, and tell me what time each amplitude was set. Somebody has to take a calibrated signal generator and hook it up to a Whisper Demon a receiver and then generate a data file and then upload that and tell me what it is, where it is, and the details of it. Then I can change the code to apply that to the.
Well, I think Phil Karn and Scott Newell have and Glenn have all done those performed those calibrations, and basically with slowed uploads, sample value of 1 corresponds pretty closely to 0 dBm on the RF input of the 888. I mean, it's within a dB. So you can almost just take a 1 to be 0 dBm RF.
Well, if somebody would send me an email with the details, I will look at it when I get a chance, and I can't say when that will be, but.
Good. Okay. Well, that's fine. That'd be great, Phil. Let's see. I will talk to, I think, I don't think Scott's, I don't know if Scott's in this call, so but he and Glenn and Clint, A70EI, that all these people have been, I know have made calibrated measurements of the RF 888's input to floating point sample output value.
Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns on that? Okay. Anything else that anyone wants to talk about before HAMSI?
We're not going to have a call next week, I gather.
No.
I'll just quick message to Rob and I guess to everyone. I'm happy to say that Michael Hartje is letting us use some of his Antarctic data on one of our posters in the HAMSI workshop. And he showed up to our Monday Telecon, our Monday Antarctic Telecon, and was able to actually talk with us in person on the Zoom. So I think that's going well.
Great.
I'll see everybody at HAMSI via Zoom.
Thanks,
Is there
John.
Monday, Nathaniel?
Yes.
I think you sent me the contact info, right, for that,
For which?
for your Monday call with.
I'll send you. I'm not sure that I think I did, but I'll make sure I add you to the invite.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of calls, so I'm not sure I can participate in all of them, but.
Yeah, and I certainly understand and don't expect you to.
Huh.
And David McGaw, I started copying the data now. There's about 24 terabytes to copy, so I'll just let you know how that goes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Okay. In which case, I'll see you all at HAMSI next week. 73.
7 threes.
73, everybody. Bye.